Now, if you scrolled YouTube lately, indeed any platform, you've probably heard a lot about castor oil and its ability to reverse the signs of aging in the skin. You have probably also seen some videos debunking castor oil as a proven method to help lift and tighten skin because its molecular structure, the actual molecules in castor oil, are too big to penetrate the skin, and that you have to mix it with something else to get any sort of benefits out of it. And I want to clear that up in today's video because it's actually backwards. Castor oil is a wonderful ingredient when used to help enhance other products in the skin. That's why it's included in so many skincare products. Castor oil is not struggling to get in your skin. It's one of the few natural oils clinically documented to do the opposite. It actually helps carry other ingredients deeper into the skin. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how castor oil works on the skin and the two ingredients backed by real clinical studies that you can pair it with to actually lift and firm saggy, crepey skin. In other words, getting your skin to go from looking like this to this, all with a natural oil. So let's talk about the real science behind this oil, castor oil, quickly where it comes from and how it works so you understand the mechanism. And for me, being a holistic esthetician for over 38 years, I love these kind of oils because of what they can do for skin. Again, as I said, they're in many skincare products. And for people like me of a certain age, I'm 62, the gentler and more natural the ingredient, the better for my skin. Now, castor oil is actually extracted from a seed from the Ricinus cuminous plant. And about 90% of its fatty acid content is something called ricinoleic acid. That is the active ingredient in castor oil that makes it so very unique. And here's the part most people don't know about. Ricinoleic acid's molecular structure actually helps it penetrate the skin's lipid barrier. Much, much more efficient than other fatty acids. Research has proven that castor oil doesn't just sit on the surface of your skin. It actually reaches deeper into the dermis where the layers of collagen and elastin live. And that it's this key mechanism that makes castor oil such an amazing emollient type of oil that actually enhances the penetration of other ingredients. In plain English, castor oil behaves like a carrier vehicle. It doesn't need help getting in, it helps other things get in. And that, my friends, completely changes how you should be using it and how you should be thinking of it. Instead of asking, what do I mix castor oil with in order to help it be absorbed? The real question is, what ingredient do I want to mix castor oil with that needs help being carried deeper into my skin to deliver some really astounding benefits? So now let's talk about the two ingredients, two other oils that you can pair castor oil with to get some really amazing results. And quickly, before we jump into that, if you happen to be new to this channel and not familiar with who I am, Chris Gibson, skincare expert, as I said, been in skincare for over 38 years. Actually, it's just about to be 40. And my job and the job of this channel is to help you find answers for skincare questions and skincare issues that will work for you, not empty your wallet and not do you more harm than good. So if that's the kind of content you've been looking for here on YouTube, hope you'll stick around and subscribe. But let's talk about this. The first ingredient oil that you should think about mixing castor oil with for extreme benefits is Bakuchiol oil. Now, we've talked a lot about Bakuchiol oil on the channel, several videos dedicated to that ingredient by itself. But if you haven't heard of Bakuchiol oil before, it is a plant-derived compound that has been clinically compared and measured up against retinols and retinoic acid. And because of Bakuchiol oil's ability to mimic the same results as a retinol or retinoic acid without causing the well-known side effects of redness, irritation, dryness, and flakiness that goes along with using retinoic acid, the results of what it can do are actually very impressive. A study comparing the gene expression of Bakuchiol oil and also retinol, researchers found that Bakuchiol oil actually upregulates type 1, 3, and 5 collagen production, essentially the same collagen boosting pathway that retinols use, but again, without any of the redness, peeling, or dryness, or need to stagger out dosages in order to allow your skin to acclimate, where retinol actually can prove some benefits. And in a 12-week clinical trial, people using a Bakuchiol oil formula twice per day saw a measurable, significant improvement in fine lines and wrinkles, elasticity, firmness, and an overall reduction in the signs of photoaging. That's age spots, dark patches, basically hyperpigmentation, and even melasma. And the formula, very well tolerated across skin types, especially sensitive, with none of those typical retinol side effects. Now here's why the pairing of castor oil and bakuchiol works so well. Bakuchiol is doing the heavy lifting at the cellular level. Castor oil is what helps carry it deeper into the layers of your skin where collagen production is actually occurring. So you're not just applying a firming ingredient, you're using a delivery system to actually get those ingredients down to where they need to be. Now I'll link the bakuchiol that I would recommend you use down below in the video description box, as I always do, and that is the one I'd start with if you were considering trying one of these pairings. Next, let's talk about castor oil and sea buckthorn oil, another oil that I've discussed here on the channel in the past that is absolutely wonderful for skin. This second pairing of castor oil and sea buckthorn oil works through a slightly different mechanism, which makes it another great option depending on what your skin needs are. Sea buckthorn oil is naturally rich in omega-7 fatty acids, and research has shown that omega-7 fatty acids inhibit MMP1, which is an enzyme that actually breaks down your collagen, and at the same time supports strengthening and production of new elastin fibers. In a clinical study with women between 50 and 70 years old, daily topical sea buckthorn oil was actually able to improve skin's thickness, with measurable improvements in collagen structure and skin's elasticity. Other research has also shown that sea buckthorn oil helps stop transepidermal water loss. That's where water vapor evaporates from your skin, leaving it drier. And we all know that dehydrated skin shows the signs of aging much more so than superiorly hydrated skin. So sea buckthorn oil helps to trap that moisture, keep it in the skin, and keeping it from escaping. So while bakuchi oil is more about directly stimulating collagen production, sea buckthorn oil is actually working on two fronts: protecting the collagen that you already do have from breaking down, and strengthening your skin's barrier so that it holds on to and locks in moisture throughout the day. And this is where a combination of castor oil and sea buckthorn oil actually really does help with that skin crepiness. That is when skin becomes very dry, tissue paper or crepe paper like. Sea buckthorn oil actually helps hydrate and lift out the skin, plumping up the moisture around your actual skin cells, giving it back resilience and that youthful glow. And I know this question is already formulating, and that would be, could I mix all three of these oils together? Well, of course, yes, you can. Castor oil being in the carrier oil position, again, helping these other oils to work better. And how I would do this is mix castor oil, sea buckthorn oil, and bakuchi oil at a 1:1:1 ratio, exactly the same amount. So if you're gonna make up a batch, so to speak, a teaspoon of castor oil with a teaspoon of bakuchi oil plus a teaspoon of sea buckthorn oil, or a 1-in-1 if you're just going to use one of the other oils with the castor oil. You want to apply this mixture to clean skin at night, and that can be the face, the neck, the chest, the back of the hands, the arms, anywhere you're experiencing those signs of aging, especially if they're related to hyper dry skin, like that skin crepiness, looseness. And the great thing about this mixture, a little bit goes a long way. Actually, 2 to 3 drops would treat an entire face and neck. And of course, because it's me and my channel, I want to set realistic expectations here, because the clinical studies we just talked about went from 8 to 12 weeks. So while when you apply these oils to the skin, you are going to see some instant improvement just from the hydration, but it's really that stretch after about 2 months where your new skin cells have been responding to these ingredients below the surface of the skin, giving them time to move up to the surface and become visible. This is not an overnight fix. We're talking about a consistent nightly application to 2 to 3 months. That's when you start to see and feel the difference in thickness and firmness. And of course, I'll put my recommendations down below for castor oil and sea buckthorn oil as well. It's a great thing about these, besides being natural, is they're not expensive oils at all. And if this video helped you understand how castor oil works and how it might be beneficial to you in a different and new way, hit that subscribe button where you can join me every single week where I break down the real science behind skincare in all of these videos. No fluff and no myths. And for even more ways to roll back the clock on skin and body aging, check this video that I picked out for you next. That said, thank you for watching and supporting my work. I really do appreciate you all so very much. Stay beautiful, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you over on that next video.